I find corny is my preference is not my women. Now, I thought it was I'm not dating my women, period, which is the corniest human being outside of a criminal to me, period. Those are your roots. Those women are reflected in your roots. So if you're saying, hey, I don't generally date them, but I have more space for it, even though I still think it's a little corny.
Akash only dates brown. Akash has been with one girl in his life who is his wife.
That's my wife. That's an Indian woman.
So this is like loyal through and through. Okay.
And I understand it's not as important for y'all, but as an Indian, there's not a lot of us who are famous. So whether you like it or not, people are looking at you as a role model. You guys have established yourselves as role models. From simps to pimps, which is another motto I find kind of corny, but I looked into what you guys are about. And a lot of this shit is just childish, which is fine if you want to be funny. We just talk about how doctors ain't shit for 45 minutes. Mm-hmm. We are not in any way life coaching. We are not in any way trying to help men outside of, hey, come have a laugh for a couple hours. Right. If you're going to paint yourself as life coaches and then say, like, my preference is, which is honestly is, I don't want to date black girls. That's the way every black dude that fucks girls says it. I've dated black girls in my life. All right, bruh. Who the fuck hasn't except me? You know what I mean? Everybody gonna dabble in everything. It is the mentality that I have an issue with, and Alex is upset with the specific words, true, but underneath it, he's upset with the mentality. And a lot of stuff you guys say in general, I think is stuff that's kind of childish. I saw a clip where you were like, oh, the nuclear family's falling apart. What do? I don't get married. Just don't get married. You're actually trying to help men, or you talking to fucking incels who are 18 years old? That's some shit you say to college. I'm gonna turn you from a simp to a pimp. All right, bro. Can we grow up? You guys are self-help. Hey, we're trying to help men. So either we're funny or help men and be real and be honest with yourselves and don't have an ego like, no, I have a preference. Be honest. Let's just be mature about what we feel. And part of that maturity is, yeah, it was a bad joke. I don't actually feel exactly that way.
Hey everyone, welcome to Shimmer Girl Talks. Today's topic is the dressing down that Indian man gave to Fresh and Fit on their platform. Now, I have a different take, so let me just dive right into it. For starters, the Indian guy and Fresh and Fit really can't compare their experiences as far as relationships. If you listen to the Indian guy, it's said that he's only been with one woman his whole life. Most likely he's the only man that she's ever been with. Allegedly, I don't want to put words in their mouth, but they're already married. Show me, on average, an American black couple who can just date one person and then marry that person and begin their lives together. Black women are at 47% single mother households, might be more than that. And when I looked up the single mother rate for Indian women, there were no stats for the ones who are here in America. Now, in their country, I think single mother rate is at 4.5%. Here in America, when I looked up the stats, they kind of included the Asian continent in general. They still had a small percentage of single mother run homes. So I know a lot of black women are loving this Indian guy right now and saying, I know that's right. Tell them Dusties what time it is. But when you look at the Indian population, and I've worked with many of them, I used to work with this lady decades ago. It's been at least 30 years ago. If she's still alive, she's got to be in her 80s, maybe even 90s by now. She met her husband. Her name was Vina. She met her husband the day of her wedding. Now, mind you, that was 30 years ago when I knew her. And at the point that I knew her, she had already been married about 30 years. So those other cultures, let's just keep it to the Indian people and the black people. They have a nuclear family standard for their community. That is a testament to the women in their community who help to uphold the marital standard. Then you come over to our community in America, and the nuclear family, the marital standard is not pushed as a whole within the Black community. Now, as the Indian guy told Fresh and Fit, they shoot down the ideal of the nuclear family. Allegedly, one of them got an Asian woman knocked up. I did a video on that last year. So I don't really watch them enough to really form an opinion on them, other than the videos I did watch of them, I couldn't get into them. I'm more of a Kevin Samuels type of person, because I feel like he really broke down, what's going on in the Black community and where Black women need to course correct to get the outcome for marriage and relationships that they want. So going back to this guy going off on Fresh and Fit and, saying that what they're doing is corny, it's not that he was wrong in his assessment. It's just that there are two different dynamics. As I said, the Indian culture, I'm going to assume more of a patriarchal type culture. And as I often say on my channel, women of other cultures tend to utilize the patriarchy to their benefit. But then when you look online, you see Black women fighting the whole ideal of marriage. Marriage isn't a goal. I'm not pressed for marriage. The very fact that I'm talking this way, I'm a pick me, I'm male identified, all of this type of stuff come out of Black women's mouths. So, but since I'm not in the Indian culture or, on their platforms, I don't know that Indian women get online talking about they don't need a man and they're strong and independent. They might. And let's assume that they do. They still have a standard of marriage in the nuclear family in their communities, which the men adhere to. Black women do not enforce that within our community. What they want is to be all kinds of out of pocket, proclaim, I don't need a man. These men out here are dusties. Black men don't build. I can do it all by myself. And they choose to have children by men who do not want to make honest women of them. Show me an Indian culture where the women are just having babies, 5 babies by 5 different men. Show me that. And I'm not saying it doesn't happen, but I bet you it doesn't happen at the same rate as the Black community. So my final bottom line is Black women cannot have this anti-marriage, anti-nuclear family, pro-single mother, mindset and expect the same type of outcome that women of other cultures who push against it. Again, those Indian women, 9 times out of 10, they have a pro-marriage, pro-nuclear family mindset. And that carries over with their men. They make choices that don't include having children without a husband. So that was my topic for today. Tell me your thoughts